2024 meeting of the Culver Town Council. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and your participation is your consent to be recorded and rebroadcast on the town's YouTube channel. If you have any electronic devices, if you please put it either on airplane mode or turn it off, it would be appreciated. Roll call, please.
William Clevenger.
Present.
Bill Giffens.
Here, by phone.
Jenny Monroe is absent. Dana Neer.
Here.
Valerie Chardy.
Here.
Thank you. Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States.
Republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice.
Giffens is online.
Okay.
Do roll call votes.
Roll call vote. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the December 10th, 2024 minutes. Everyone had a chance to look at the minutes. Or are there any additional corrections? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Mr. Neer makes the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Shardy seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Chardy. Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Giffens.
Aye.
Okay, do we have any guest speakers? Anyone wish to speak? Anyone here for public concern, utility, ordinance violation, or appeals? Yes, sir. Are you? Are you here for?
I'm with the Tree Commission.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. Didn't recognize you. Next is old business, the second and third reading of ordinance 2024-009, which is the 2025 salary ordinance. I think we've all had a chance to look at it. Anybody have any questions? Okay, entertain a motion to approve on second read.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Shardy makes the motion. Is there a second, Mr. Neer? Roll call, please.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Giffens.
Aye.
Neer. Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
We have a motion to approve on third, suspend the rules and approve on third read.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Shardy, second by Mr. Neer.
Mr. Clevenger.
Aye.
Mr. Giffens.
Aye.
Neer. Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
Next item on the business and new business is the first reading of ordinance 2024-010. Okay.
You do not have either the ordinance 2024-010 or the resolution of 06. I am working with the software company. There's some issues with the accounting software that I've run into, and I'm not confident in saying that these are the balances
All right.
for right now. So if you will allow me, I will bring those to the first meeting in January.
That's fine. Everybody in agreement with that?
Not
Okay.
a problem.
I agree.
Board and commission reports. Technical Review Committee.
Frisky goes along. November 2024, building permits applied for were 15. 15 were in October. Fees for building permits and improvement location applications. Culver received $1,590 for October, slightly down from I think you meant November, slightly down from October 2708. Zoning ordinance update, solar ordinance draft is near completion. The solar team did not meet in December and will begin meetings again in 2025. Says the battery storage systems draft ordinance is in process. and we should have legal review of the draft solar ordinance early in 2025. Unsafe structure report, unsafe building hearing was November 26th. There will be a follow-up hearing in January. There are 2 garages in town that will be sent notices regarding dilapidated condition. The TRC meeting met once in November. The Plan Commission had 1 hearing in November. This was tabled until December. The BZA did not meet in November due to not having a case. The building commissioner presented an updated application and permit fee schedule to the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission has favorably recommended the update fee schedule to the town council, and this will be presented to the town council. I'm assuming in the first meeting of January. I do not have that fee schedule presently. Last, we have been working with Plaza Meadows, the apartment complex that's in town behind the Park and Shop. I think we're familiar with it. There have been certain conditions and concerns that have been expressed, including roof conditions by the tenants there. Mr. Gorski has sent both registered mail and normal mail a letter to the owner, giving a list of 15 conditions, at minimum 15 conditions, I think you voiced in that need to be improved. 15 conditions for 15 days. He has 15 days to respond to Mr. Gorski in writing with a plan, not necessarily remedying it in 15 days, but having a plan to address the issues, including roof conditions. We are aware of it. We've also talked to Rudy Yakim's office, and they are helping us with the USDA. We are expecting to see change in the conditions over at those apartments. We have also been coordinating with the county, and we thank the county for their assistance in the matter. And I think probably next month, Mr. Gorski will have a better update for you, but we're starting to use legal measures to try to affect change over there. That's it for the building commissioner tonight.
Sally, Redevelopment Commission.
Well, we had our meeting on the 19th last month of this month, rather.
Okay.
And we met with one Marshall County request for support and approved the $20,000 support to come out of the Redevelopment Commission. We also met with Wild Rose Moon Broadcasting, and this is for sponsoring their program, but also it allows us to have advertising on their program. And also we approved the 15,000 that for the Viewpoint Dennis Quaid documentary sponsorship that Kevin had talked to the town council about previously. And our next meeting is going to be on Thursday, the 16th at 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tree Commission. John?
Yes, some information out.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
That's fine.
Save a tree.
Yeah, can't be asking. I'm here on behalf of the Tree Commission, and first of all, I want to thank the council for our 2025 budget of $15,000. Recently, we lost 2 of our senior members, Nick Branham and Nick Stallings, due to age and medical. So we really haven't had a meeting in the last few months, and there's just 3 of us now. Dennis is here with me. But we found out towards the end or beginning of December, we still had a small balance in our budget from 2024, $1,600. So And I was under the impression that we could encumber the $1,600 for 2025 as long as we had a place to put it. And our pruning company, Oakwood Hills, gave me an invoice for 2025. So this information is in here. And first of all, it's kind of a recap of what we did in 2024. The first sheet was their bill for pruning, $5,500. And that shows you the locations that they did with pruning, something like 125 trees that they pruned. And the next page is where we planted 18 trees. And it also gives you the location for those. And then the last page is the invoice, which shows that the pruning price has gone up to $3,000 a day from the previous. So in the 1,600 that I'd like to encumber, or at least get the permission to spend, or it's 2025 pruning, and go towards that. So I'm not sure if I need to do anything more with this. I need to give permission to spend 16,600 or can we encumber this?
I think we've had that you can't, I, just so that you all know, that he gave me an invoice for work that hasn't been done. So work hasn't been done, I can't pay it. And in order to encumber funds, ideally the work is going to be done within the first month or so of the new year, which this isn't going to be done until probably spring or summer.
Probably so.
So it's really outside of that encumbered window. The idea, basically for encumbrances, it's something that you purchased in 2024. You're not going to receive, maybe you received it, but you won't get the bill until right after the first of the year. So you don't want to use funds from the new year to pay for something that you've already received in the previous year. That's the purpose of encumbering funds. So my guidance to Mr. Helfrey was to come before you all and explain this. And if it's something that possibly later in the summer, when they know exactly what they're spending, that maybe we can find an extra, that $1,600 that wasn't spent from 2024, possibly find that money and allow them to use it in their budget for 2025. So it's not something, I mean, if you guys want to, do that now, that's fully within your purview. If you want to approve it now, or if you want to wait until next summer to do that when they've got them, when they have more of an idea of what they're going to spend and the final billing.
Look, may I add, we don't know yet because we don't have the new members yet. And I thought it would be appropriate to wait to have the new members to get their input on what they want to do with it. The grant that you're supposed to get, the 50 trees that are supposed to be planted, they won't have anything to do with pruning. So that's where we were going to go with the money. And if there was some more spots we could possibly put some more trees in, that would be beneficial also. So we're kind of in a flux right now because we don't have a plan until probably the spring, when we have all the members on the board and get their input.
Yeah, but I do know, I agree with Karen that right now we can't encumber it. But we can certainly consider the fact that you had monies left over at the end of this year, when next year rolls around and you get bills and
Right.
there's more than what your budget can handle.
Whatever the appropriate way to do it, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And if we get to spend 16,600 versus 15, it's just going to go as benefit to the town. So,
Yeah, right.
But we don't have it's not in the right order yet. We won't know until
Right.
spring or summer.
Well, I appreciate all the work that you and the tree commission has done over the years. And, we certainly will consider that this upcoming year. So.
I have a question for tree commission business too. What are the residency requirements in the town of Culver for commissions and boards and whatnot? A problem we run into sometimes, we just lost the 2 members, as John said. We've had inquiries from people who would like to be on the tree commission, but I don't know about residency requirements. For example, in the town of Plymouth, that has about 7 times the population to draw from, they have probably, and Sean could answer this, the same number of boards and commissions. And we're a little thin on population to fill all these boards sometimes. What are those residency requirements?
It changed depending on what board you're talking about, but
Yeah.
specifically to the tree commission, that as long as they have a house, that doesn't have to be permanent residency. And this was a question that recently came up by somebody who was inquiring about it. They have been a resident most of their life. They have a house in town. They're not selling. They're moving out of town, but they're going to be back and forth. Inquired about what the residencies were, and I said, I think in this case, it would be acceptable.
What about people who had a house in town, who moved, but just barely outside of the city limits? I don't know how far out do we go out the 2 mile thing? I guess I'm fishing because we want good people.
100%.
And somebody is at, and I know where they live,
Active in town.
yeah, they're on the fire department, as a matter of fact.
The Culver Tree Commission members are appointed by the town council to serve a 3-year term. As member must reside within the town. So if they have a property, that the word reside is in question, right?
Mhm.
But by that reading, it would have to be within the corporate limits. Now, whether that's their primary or not is.
And that's something that, I mean, if the commission, if you don't have good applicants or, lack of applicants, and this isn't a statutorily created commission that, there's state laws that say that, like if there's a good cause that you want to ask the council to amend the town
Okay,
requirements for that, could be a possibility in the future. So,
okay.
But can I ask that? You have until January 8th to get those applications in, if I'm correct. right?
For tree commission? Yes.
For that.
Any, yes, yeah.
Okay. There's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And something like that with the absence of people, if we don't get it's an ongoing thing. I won't put a hard stop to accepting somebody, especially if you have somebody that you think would be strong.
We got some flexibility with that. We also have some positive vibes for this.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Town manager report.
Dirty today. RFPs are complete. I sent those to you by email. Any feedback that you have, I'd like to try to get those out by January 3rd. Get them into the hands of people that had some people solicit and ask for them. We're getting responses and interest in those. So anything that you could have to me by Thursday, if there's something, given the fact that writing proposals always multiple eyes are a good thing. I do want to thank Julie Albright and the Culver Fire Auxiliary. They coordinated the communication between our town children and Santa Claus this year, making sure that their letters made it there and got the letters back to them. Did a great job, and they do a lot of service as young of an organization they've made an impact this year. Truly do appreciate everything they do for the town. That extends to the whole community that volunteered over at the Christmas basket program this year. Was a strong turnout. From what I've heard, I was nursing a sick wife. They've been at the program, but they said it was fantastic. Talked to Mike Zahner, who's there working, and Mike said it was really good. Academy, Lake, everybody coming together in the community with the town. Checks in the mail. I wrote that down, but we're getting ready to send the check for the documentary. I want to thank both Marshall County Tourism again, as well as Redevelopment. Looking forward to it, the production. They think they have a wonderful narrative, and the narrative that I did some writing, I've talked to a couple of their script people, and the narrative centers around the lake. The evolution of this town has always been this natural relationship with the lake, and it's driven our development. And the story goes from arts and cultures to writers to the academy to an agrarian community. And I think they're very interested in the story. And the future development also has to prioritize the lake and its relationship to it. So it'll be interesting to see where their storytellers see a story within us. Should be hearing from them in about a month. Just some updates from County Marshall came the other day, working on trying to get a relationship with the region right now. That's defining what that means. It's been an interesting process. What has happened in the course of 6 months is there has been improvement in the communication between the towns. There are some serious conversations going on, and we're starting to identify mutual needs. And one of those mutual needs really stems around from our downtown development. Understanding what we need in place for infrastructure first, and then how can we grow our downtown, especially in an economic sense. It's interesting to have that relationship. We have business owners in there. We have a lot of different entities, and it's been really a nice conversation to be part of. Also meeting with the mayor and the other town managers. Those conversations keep moving forward. We centered around last month around the emergency in support of the EMS. And there seems to be some how that comes, it's an interesting thing, but there seems to be a county concern to support and try to find a way to sustain that support without raising taxes, obviously, but finding that support for the local communities. And I'll be interested in that continued conversation. So those are kind of the updates from the county. But other than that, I've got nothing to add. I'm not asking for money tonight, Dana. We're good. All right.
The Ready Grant did provide some funding.
Absolutely. Ready grant. I didn't know if that it's been public, but yeah, I'm really excited. The fact 2 of the areas in Indiana that were identified as concerns. Number 1 were housing. Number 2 is childcare, and a close third is the infrastructure of a town. And I feel like, and we'll have an update coming up in the beginning of January, kind of a state of the town where I'll put some of the projects together, what's happening in town, and where we're thinking about going for the council to consider. But those 3 projects in particular, I think we've got a good foothold. There's still a lot of things to work out, but we're moving that way, at least in planning. So I'm excited. Yep.
Karen, your report.
I have a couple of claims, $2,500 for your, the first one is for our custom home for $4,642. And that is for the sidewalk program. The second one is Central Sports Technologies, $2,787.82. And that is for a program that the police use. It's an annual support fee. The third one is McLean, $36,220. And that is for the fire that y'all approved the purchase meeting. Tim Uhas, $37,491.13 for the park pier sockets. Pioneer Production Services, $29,300, and that is for the viewpoint production. One Marshall County, $20,000. That was approved by you all, I think, at the last meeting to support their efforts. And then finally, F&H Deck and Landscaping, $2,600, and that's for the park light installation.
May I have a motion to approve claims over $2,500?
Make that motion.
Mr. Neer makes the motion. A second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Shardy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Fraser,
Aye.
Mr. Githens,
Aye.
here,
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
The second thing I have is the annual certification of elected officials to the executive of the town council, or to the executive of the town of Culver on compliance with municipal nepotism policy involving direct line supervision, and also certification of elected officials to the executive of the town of Culver on compliance with municipal contracting policy. This is something that we have to do each year. Those of us who are elected have to certify that we didn't any relatives in direct line supervision, nor does the town have any contracts with a relative. So in front of you are 2 sheets of paper. If this is true and you can certify that, if you would please sign that, just turn it into Mr. Clevenger at the end of the meeting, and then he'll turn them over to me and I'll put those in my file and just show in the minutes that that has been completed. And then the final thing is already been mentioned, but if you would like to serve on either redevelopment commission or the tree commission, the council has requested that applications be submitted to town hall by 4 p.m. on Wednesday, January 8th. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Karen. Attorney's report.
I just have that I'm continuing to work on wrapping up the proposed zoning ordinance amendments, and will Wanted to have those by the end of the year, but we'll have them by the end of January for you.
Great.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Council issues, Mr. Nair.
The only thing I have, I noticed that the welcome to Culver sign on Academy Road looks pretty faded. What is the process of examining that, replacing that? Where those funds come from?
This has been up since 2013, I think, 2012 or 13. I think it would probably come out of the street department budget. It's just a matter of finding out if whoever made them, I think it was Van Adco, if they still have those, or if it's at the council's pleasure, if they want to hand up those signs.
Do you mean the painted sign on the roadway or the?
It's on the roadway and it's a sign
Oh,
of the
I'm sorry.
sailboat
Yeah.
with the sunset. And it's just
Oh,
really,
it's a sign, yeah. There's
Yeah,
one at
yeah.
Academy, it's not the painted on the street.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one at Academy Road, there's one at Mill Street.
Yeah.
I think one at Jefferson.
custom signs.
Yeah. And the one at Jefferson's also been brought up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time, Dana. I'll have a conversation with Bob. Appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Shardy.
I can't think of anything pertaining to the town, but I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year.
Mr. Githens.
I have nothing. Happy New Year to y'all.
Thank you. I have nothing. I'd like to thank Bill for his service on the council the last few years. Wish him well in Melba, and wish everybody a happy new year. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Get the last one.
Get on, Bill. I'll second.
All right, Mr. Githens moved, Mr. Neer seconds. All those, roll call, please. Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Mr. Chardy.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you all.